Good evening, everybody. Doing a sound check. We're calling from, we're doing this from Cuca Lake, New York. Okay, you hear me all right? Good. All right, hope everybody's having a nice summer evening. Tonight, I'm going to do a few of the charts that look good, kind of an analysis of the market and how we find the best scans for the best trades. And then we've got Hunter Smith with Metastock, who'll be coming on and showing how we've set up the formulas or the scanning techniques to use with Metastock, and he can show you how it works very effectively for getting you to the right patterns and right signals. So with that, as you can see, the market the market's acting well. Not rip roaring, but you can see the fry pan bottom setup in progress. Which is oh, you're sitting there in Rochester, New York? All right, so we're only about an hour away from each other. The atmosphere is great. It's got a little bit toasty today, but we have a nice cool breeze. We ate lunch at the Heron Hill Winery, way up on the hill, overlooking the lake. So life is good. Life is good. So, anyways, we can see right now that there's no real market conditions here in the doldrums of the summer that's telling us that there's any great selling going on. The Dow's heading up. The NASDAQ has been a consistent uptrend and basically just moving slowly. So even though that doesn't create any real great, I want to say, buying across the board strategies or opportunities, it's still putting us in situations. Remember which one broke out today? That big breakout. Okay, well, I'll have to find one. It's putting us in situations where as long as the candlestick patterns are working, oops, that's not it. It's putting us in situations where there's no major change of investor sentiment going on. We can see what's happening, like in SQ. Okay. SQ, we can see the breakout. Now it looks like the consolidation's over, so this becomes a much higher probability, very profitable trade, knowing that probably they're coming up to test the gap area and probably even going higher. So again, the advantage for knowing what candlestick patterns and signals are telling you puts you in situations that even though the market is just moving along slowly, you can get some big price moves based upon candlestick breakout patterns, as we can see in AOSL. I mean, this is the pure perfect illustration that if there's a resistance level, this is what we call the slow curve. The fact that it gapped up today put us in a situation where the high probability trade breakouts are. So we also have the capabilities to analyze which sectors are acting well. We can see what's happening in the oil sector. Oops, they're even trading up after hours. Well, Shazam, something's happening here to my mouse. What's happening to my mouse? Am I doing something wrong? Well. No, yeah, I don't know what's happening to the mouse. Hold on, folks. We're having a little bit of problems with we just put in new batteries. No, we just put in new batteries. There it is. Something's happening with our connection. So this might be shorter than what we anticipate. So anyways, we can see what's happening. Yeah, I forgot. We can see that there's big bullish engulfing signals staying above the T-line on crude oil. So that puts us in situations, or we've been in situations. This is not working out well. Well, what's happening here? That's our connection. This was our perfect setup for buying Ren the other day. Recommended it right here because notice where it was coming up on this J-hook pattern. Breaking out to the upside. So again, not that we're any great, I want to say, analysts of what's going on in each individual stock. That's what the charts tell us. It's whoever is doing all their analysts, we're just fine. We're seeing graphically where the buyers and sellers are coming in. So we're watching the oils. Whiting is one of the ones that we're looking at as kind of a stutter step, starting to head back up, especially up to the next resistance level. So we can analyze different sectors based upon the underlying entities. Let's see, this is gold. Well, shuzzbutts, why are we losing? This is, yeah, we're losing stuff here. All right. Yeah, we can see that there's a definite wedge going on in gold. So right now we have the capabilities, again, as we saw in something that is setting up like this, where we can see where that slow curve is setting up and breaking out. Again, this is our one of our best signals, which we call the best friend signal, where they do a doji gap up, especially through a resistance level. The reason we call it our best friend is a couple reasons. Number one, if we see a doji, which is day of indecision, followed by a gap up, that tells us what's happened in that decision. If we can also analyze that it's broken a resistance level, our results of a best friend is not only are we going to be in an uptrend, but the probabilities are that the uptrend is going to be very strong because essentially if you break down what is going on in investor sentiment, indecision, and if they gap it up, what they tell us about their decision making after that indecision. That gap up tells you there's a big price move in progress. And that the force that came in on the buying is usually going to create a very strong uptrend. So when we know these type of setups are in progress, it allows us to hit our exact timing. For example, this is ECA. Notice we got a big fry pan bottom, and notice where it closed today, just above the highs over here. So this one is telling us if they open positive, remember, we're buying the signals when we're in the oversold area. We're buying the breakouts probably when your stochastics are already in bought condition. So remember, a lot of people say, well, shouldn't we be holding off? We shouldn't be buying with stochastics in the overbought area. The answer is yes, except if you can identify what type of pattern is setting up. So there's your fry pan bottom. Man, that's terrible handwriting. Whoops, I did it wrong. Can't even read my own handwriting. So notice what happened coming out of this little fry pan bottom slow curve. Big price move. And notice what we're doing right now, J-hook pattern. So that's not an unusual combination. Seeing the slow curve fry pan bottom. What do we expect coming out of a fry pan bottom? Strong price move. Pulls back and consolidate sideways. What do we expect as far as a J-hook pattern? The prerequisite is a very strong price move. This tells us we're probably in wave 3. So if this is wave 1, which is $4, this tells us we probably are heading for the $18 area. Let's see. I noticed that red heavily, and the stock drop after each of these signals. Any reason why? Oh, Bob, we'll take a look at them real quick. First of all we can see is that we're in the trend channel. So there's really nothing there to tell you there's anything real positive until they break out above the trend channel. Let's see. Whoops, what else we got here? So the nice thing, again, I was mentioning today was that the nice thing about our chat room is that everybody's kind of looking for the same type of price patterns. There's obviously a J-hook pattern, and notice we had that little doji gap up. One of the things that you can really think through as common sense is if you can see, or if everybody can see, there's a resistance level and they're gapping it up to that resistance level, the first thing you have to think is the smart money buying when they know their resistance level right here? Are they buying with great force, knowing that might be stopped here? No, they're usually buying because they know with that strength they're not going to be at that resistance level anymore. On ASO, I would say what we kind of analyze is what is your next probable price pattern, which is usually a 45-degree off of here. So I wouldn't necessarily be buying aggressively, but if I start seeing that they're steady uptrend, then I'd be a buyer with the idea that that uptrend is going to remain in progress for a while. SSRI is in the silver area. You can see the J-hook pattern. And there's your doji gap up, kind of a little kicker signal breaking into new territory. What's that tell us? That probably this is wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. So this is not rocket science. CNCO. This is just the graphic depiction or confirmation that investor sentiment works the same way time after time. That's why we're looking at patterns, because the patterns are created by investor sentiment working the same way over and over. We got pretty much a resistance level right here. Notice how they got to it. Right combo gap up makes this very simple. If it breaks out to the upside, they're breaking out through the top of that resistance level, probably going for more upside. Okay. YNDX, look where we are after this little fry pan bottom. Right smack dab on the resistance level. Where's our next likely target? Well, when you have a steady uptrend like this, and then you have consolidation like this, the next move is usually back up to where the trend channel was in the first place. So if they break out through this level, you've got the prospects of a very strong move until it gets back up into that trend channel. So what this basically does for you is sets up your timing on a very the perfect element or perfect, I want to say, facet of knowing that this positive open is now the right time to be buying. And what else we got? LRDS. LEDS. EDS. All right, and so there's the same scenario. Most excuse me, money managers will say you don't want to be buying gaps because you don't know what's going on with them. The corollary to that is in candlestick analysis, if you understand what the pattern is telling you, you definitely want to be buying gaps because we know what the investor sentiment is that created those signals or patterns, and when they break out, it tells you exactly what's happening. The moving averages that we use on our charts is the red line is the 200-day simple moving average. The blue line is the 50-day simple moving average. And apparently I don't have the 20 on this one. And we usually have the 20 on here. And those are all simple moving averages. And the reason for that is every money manager around the world uses those moving averages to make their decisions. We see immediately what's happening at those moving averages. So a lot of people will say, well, how many days does it take for you to confirm that your signal reversal has occurred? And the answer is 0. If you see a signal and it confirms the next day, you want to be buying because that's exactly what the investor what the signal is telling you. When you say wave 3, no, I'm saying wave 1, wave 2, or wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. I'm only counting wave 1, 2, and 3. I'm not doing Elliott wave. I'm just knowing that prices move in waves, that we're buying after wave 2, going into wave 3. I'll take a look at one here. I'll take a look at a few more that, whoops, what did I just do? Something's happening here where, yeah, something's happening. Fast and all. So you have to observe the obvious. You've got that little doji gap up, but where's your resistance level? You can see there's a downtrending resistance. So this is basically observe the obvious. The obvious is they haven't been able to get back up through this level. So if you're buying, first of all, you need to get through the 50-day moving average, and then you need to get through this downtrending channel. If it breaks through that level, now you know you've got a new facet or new aspects going on in the trend. So what we're looking for is the ones that have great patterns. We recommended CC the other day because if it opened positive in this way, this one gapped up and kind of did our J-hook pattern. And observe the obvious also. Look at the breakout level and look where they were supporting, right smack dab on the 50-day moving average. Once they broke through this level, again, these patterns told us this was a high probability setup for when to buy. Our humbug. Whoops. Whoops. No, this is fun. Something's happening here. Now I lost the whole thing. That's just great. Now the yeah, so the same pattern right here, the J-hook pattern, told us if they broke out, we probably got a new facet going on. Do you buy stocks or use options? Alex, that's up to each individual. And that's based on each individual's trading factor. So if you buy options, you're obviously going to use the charts to tell you when to be buying and selling. Remember, options are just one method of buying the stocks. TL, we usually do the sessions up here every summer, only because once we get tired of sitting on our butts looking at the screen all day, we can take a break and go out and sit on the deck, look at the lake, or even get in the lake and splash around a little bit. Can you use the keypad? Oh, I'm using the keypad. The keypad's getting as bad as the mouse. So let me take, so we've been in, different charts. Yeah, and that's the reason we were recommending Guru a while back, because the pattern was setting up as a J hook. So the benefit of doing the patterns is if the market is in a steady uptrend like this, like we've seen the Dow and the NASDAQ, we're finding these sectors with very simple scanning techniques that are producing extremely strong results. So if all boats rise in a rising tide, we're finding the boats that are rising the fastest in that rising tide. Yes, I've been taking a hammer to this, and let's see, the SPY, as you can see, is in a nice steady uptrend as long as it stays above the T line. And notice what started this uptrend? The kicker signal, the strongest of all the signals. All right, let me do a few more. Chug was another one, and then I'm going to have Hunter come on, and he's going to kind of show how we use Metastock for identifying these different signals and patterns. If gold is in a downtrend, why are the gold companies in an uptrend? Well, I'll answer that in a second. Look at what happened with Chug. This is what we call the bobble pattern. Comes up, fails at the 200, pulls back, and what happens when it opens above the 200? There's your J-hook pattern, but it's the bobble, meaning when it hit the resistance, we could see immediately there was sell signals. Then it did a bobble for a while, and then broke up through the through that upper trend, or through the resistance level, creating a J-hook pattern. Again, putting us in a situation where the probabilities of making small or big moves is highly in our favor. The kicker signal, anybody remember a kicker signal from earlier today? Kicker signal. I'm trying to think of one that wow. I can't think of one. The only one I can show you as an illustration is, let's say for example, this was a red candle where it opened here and closed here. A kicker signal is when it gaps up above the previous day's open and goes the opposite direction. Buy on positive open after a signal. Yes, that's just common sense says if we see a candlestick buy signal, what do we want to see the next day? We want to see positive trading where it's moving up, confirming that signal. Be sure to mention the exponential moving average along. So I'm sorry. Yes, the T line is the black line. It's the 8 exponential moving average, and it's got a very simple concept to it, which is if you see a candlestick buy signal and a close above the T line, you can stay long until you see a candlestick sell signal and a close back below the T line, with a simple caveat that the further away you move from the T line, the higher the probability it's going to come back down and test it. So that's the 8 exponential moving average. So very simply, the reason we have a major advantage using candlesticks is prices do not move based upon fundamentals. Prices move based upon the perception of fundamentals. Candlestick signals are merely the graphic depiction of what's going on in investor sentiment. Now, one of the basic truisms about the moving averages is that they act like magnets. Why is that? Because every major money manager is making their decisions about when to be buying, and usually it's right on a support level. Nobody has the T-line on their chart. So it works very effectively because it's got kind of the Fibonacci characteristics. That's a natural support and resistance level. So if you add the prospect that a candlestick signal is the graphic depiction of human nature, and you add the T-line, which is kind of a natural support and resistance level. When you combine those two on your chart, you've got an extremely high probability that you're going to be in the right trades at the right time. So with that, every time I put on a trade, I know the probabilities are extremely strong that I'm going to be in the right trade at the right time. Also, I know if the chart pattern is working, I've got a good trade. If the chart pattern isn't working, I'm right back out of the trade very quickly. Kicker forming a J-hook fry pan. All right, we'll take a look at it real quick. LYB. That's a good looking chart. No. That's a good looking chart. There's your J-hook pattern. I would look at that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that one down because there's your little best friend. There's your J-hook pattern setting up. We know that if this moved from 22 to 27, we've got the prospect of this moving to about the $32 area. It's not a kicker. It's your best friend signal. Little hammer, gap up. And one more just to see what Waboo. That's what we call the bobble. Notice that when it hit the 200, it pulled back, but notice where it pulled back to. Right smack dab to the T-line area. So this makes it very simple. If they come back up above the 200, your bobble breakout, which is now a J-hook pattern, is in progress. Oh, Jacinto, yeah, probably. Sorry, I move everything too fast. I talk fast and move the mouse too fast. So we can find the best trade. So with that, I'm going to have Hunter come on from Metastock and let him walk you through on how you can find the best trades, because we've already developed all those formulas and put it in their search areas. Willie, check to make sure you're not logged in twice, and you might have to log off real fast and log right back in. So with that, I'm going to close down my screen, and then Hunter, welcome to the Candlestick Forum. We're anxious to see let everybody see how we put those formulas into each of our scans and find the best trades.
Yeah, Stephen, and I appreciate you having us here. We always love doing presentations with you and working with you. Obviously, sounds like you're having a lot of trouble with your mouse. I typically, if my mouse starts acting up like that, I use what I call the Chevy method and just hit it real hard till it starts working. Well, we've been working with Steve for quite a few years now through his methodologies, and we've been lucky enough, and just to double check. Hello, Richard. Everybody can see my screen okay? Just hoping everybody can see the slide okay. Just let me know. Okay, perfect. I appreciate it. Like I said, we've been working with Steve for quite a while now, and we've been lucky enough to not only work with him, but be able to take his patterns and his methodology and be able to program it into Metastock. And our goal with Metastock is to really provide you the ability to get into a very, very easy workflow. And this comes in to full play when you're looking at Steve's system, which is obviously a very visual system. And we worked on this system for a couple of years, I believe. And I think that part of that process was identifying a visual signal mathematically, which is a bit harder than it sounds. But with Steve's help, we were able to do it pretty effectively. So we were able to get his system within Metastock. Now, all of his signals, all of his patterns that he looks for here, we have them programmed into Metastock. So instead of having to go through and make markings on a chart or look for the specific patterns. Metastock has the ability to actually go out and find instruments that are generating these signals. So within the system itself, we have 20 visual signals identified and 4 explorations. And I don't want to spend too much time getting into slides. I'd rather just kind of show you the program and how it works here. So let's get straight into it. Now, when you're looking through charts, for example, let's say that you see an upward movement in the S&P and you want to know, like Steve was saying, rising tide raises all boats. So you want to start looking for patterns within the S&P 500. There's 504 instruments within the S&P 500. So that's a lot of charting time. So we actually have the ability to look for these specific signals within Metastock without you having to have, 504 charts open all the time. Now, what we can actually do with this, and here I have our Power Console open. This pops up right when you open the program. We go down to our Exploration tool, which is basically our scanning tool. And these are the candle profit system is actually marked just by CPS right here. And if we hover over these different explorations, it pops up a little description actually going through exactly what it's looking for, what patterns we're going to be scanning for, and we've broken it down into 4 primary explorations. Now I can actually go through these. I know that Steve was looking for kicker patterns a little bit earlier. While he was talking, I actually ran a scan. It took a little under a minute on the S&P 500 to look for either bearish kickers, bearish flutter kickers, bullish kicker, bullish flutter kicker. So I actually ran through this scan. Like I said, it took about a minute, and I'll show you guys the report that came up. Now, once you run the scan, this report will actually come up automatically. And you can actually, since we have the patterns here at the very top, if it has and you can actually sort them. It doesn't look like, it looks like the bullish kicker was the only one that came through on the S&P 500. But if it has a 1 next to it, that means that it has identified that as a bullish kicker signal. Okay, so what we've done here is we've actually gone through 500 instruments and we found, let's say, about 9 or 10 instruments that have the signals that we're looking for. As you can imagine, obviously that's going to save you a significant period of time versus having to go through, a few hundred charts manually. Now, one of the things that we really wanted to do is, since Steve's system is a very visual system, we wanted to be able to complement that with our expert commentary and with the signals themselves. So let's go ahead and open up a chart here. Let's take a look at Home Depot. And let's look at Dover Corp as well. Go ahead and open both of those charts. As you can see, with our expert system, we've been able to identify graphically those 20 different patterns within the candle profit system. So here we have the doji at the top, another doji at top right here. The last signal that we got is actually a bull kicker, and that is what generated the signal through our exploration. Now, if you have trouble remembering exactly what the signals mean, and you're not within a webinar with Steve where you can ask him, we've actually built in our expert commentary where you have the ability to go through the entire all of these patterns, and it will show you exactly what each pattern means. Sure, I'll convert this to candles. There we go. Okay. So here we have our last signal, which was, it looks like today, for a bull kicker. So your bullish kicker, you're going to have the definition of the bullish kicker right here. Constant trading opportunities for long positions. You're also going to be able to look at different enhancements that make that signal even stronger as far as the trade opportunity. You can also go back through, and if we just click on a signal here, we'll take a look at the doji at the top. So again, we're going through our commentary window, and it's actually walking us right through exactly what these different signals mean. Now, obviously, we're going to want to be able to take a look at the moving averages and the T-line as well. So all we have to do is go ahead and apply the candle profit system template. And here we go. We have our moving averages as well as our T-line illustrated right here. Here's our bull kicker. It's above the T-line. We also have our longer term moving averages at the bottom. Let's see, just looking through some questions here. Okay. Yeah, we went ahead and switched that over to candlesticks. Sorry about that. So with this, having these 20 different systems, we're able to actually take a look at these patterns. We can scan, for example, all optionable stocks, which takes just a couple of minutes. In the U.S., it's about 4,000 instruments looking for these different patterns. Let's take a look at the Dow. Okay. So here we have, let's go ahead and apply Steve's template. Okay, perfect. So we actually, at the Dow, we have a fry pan bottom at the, which is the newest signal. So a good idea would be to start, scanning the Dow for all of these different signals that are pre-built into Metastock. And again, we have, since it is a fry pan bottom, we have the definition of what a fry pan bottom is here, as well as a cradle pattern, and we also have the enhancements for this trade. So actually walking you through the setup, which is very nice, especially when you're looking at a very, very visual system, to have those definitions right in front of you. So we've been able to successfully take Steve's methodology and package it up and put it within Metastock to where you can go through that entire workflow in a matter of minutes. So we've been able to scan through the S&P 500 and find 10 or so instruments that had a bullish kicker signal generated on it. We've been able to apply his template so that we can see all of the signals, all of these signals that are on the chart going back historically, and we're able to see the definition of them as well, and have all of those moving averages as well as the T-line pre-programmed and pre-plotted on the chart. So in utilizing this system, we want to be able to take that workflow and take the time out of having to go through all of these different charts, and we're able to do so very visually within Metastock. Now the candle profit system has actually won, I believe it's 3 awards through Technical Analysis of Stocks and Commodities magazine. It's been one of our best-selling add-ons. Like I said, all of our customers just really love it. So, just kind of a overview here. Again, the candle profit system does come with 20 of his identified patterns. And again, we're taking a look at some of the commentary here. These are all the identified patterns. Comes with 4 explorations. The expert advisor, which I kind of took you guys through with the commentary, does come with a layout as well. Metastock has actually won the Reader's Choice Award for Best Analysis Software within our category for 25 straight years. Luckily Steve's been a part of that for quite a while now. Now we offer the Candle Profit System normally for $3.99, but for attending this webinar, we want to give you guys a special offer that will come with a month of Metastock real time. We're going to throw in a month of Zenith and data as well. And if you're not familiar with Metastock Zenith, you can definitely check out our YouTube channel. We'll also throw in Steve's bonus pre-filter scans. We'll throw in Unleash the Power of Metastock, which is typically $99. And we will also throw in a bonus training session on August 16th at 6 Eastern Time. We'll throw that in for free as well. Normally all of this is going to cost $847, but because you guys have attended this webinar and we love Steve so much, we'll go ahead and do a discounted price of $299 for everything. So that's $100 off the add-on, and that's a month free of Metastock plus data. We'll throw in the free scans. We'll throw in Unleash the Power of Metastock to kind of get you into that workflow with Metastock, teaching you how to do the scans, teaching you how to apply the templates like I was just showing you, as well as that bonus session here in just about a week or so for $299. Now, feel free to come into metastock.com/sales chat, or you can just give us a call, and we'd be happy to set you up with that. You may also contact Steve through his website and the Candlestick Forum to get you set up with this offer. So open the floor for any questions. I appreciate you, Steve, for having me around this evening to show these scans. Always a pleasure working with you. Open the floor and just look through some questions here. Karen, if you already have Metastock, wonderful job. You have a great charting package right there. I'll go ahead and give you the Candle Profit System. You'll still get the system, the bonus trading session, the pre-filter scans, etc. for the $299 price. Depending on if you have end of day or real time. If you want to try out the real time, we'd be happy to set you up with a trial of that as well. As far as fees are concerned, let's see here. Yeah, so fees moving forward, we have a couple of different options. We want to make sure that the software makes sense for you and fits well into your trading strategy, etc., especially utilizing Steve's add-on with us. So moving forward, all you would need to do is pay for either a lease of the software or a one-time cost. Typically, we like to have you do a trial first just to make sure that it fits well into how you trade and you utilizing Steve's system very well. And then we always give discounts. We want to give Steve's students good discounts, good deals on the once-off purchase. So there's a few different options. Pam, you asked about actual buy-sell alerts. Essentially what we have in the Candle Profit System is the ability to identify these patterns, and you're able to make your trading decision based off of the definition of that pattern, what actions you should take, as well as some of the enhancements that I was showing you inside of the commentary that we actually walked you through as well. Will give you really the ability to make that trading decision. On the charts, though, you're not going to see a buy here or sell here. You're going to be able to just identify those patterns and base the decision off of what that pattern means and what Steve teaches you it means. The Candle Profit System is actually a one-time cost. It would just be the one-time cost of $2.99 for being in this session. If you weren't in this session, it would be $3.99 normally, just a one-time cost. Richard, yes, you can. You can put the Candle Profit system as well as Metastock on your Windows-based computers, laptops, PCs, whatever you have. Yes, Karen. So with the real time, you actually um, as the patterns form, they're identified. Sometimes you just need to refresh the chart. So with the special offer, Jennifer, you would have Metastock. You would have a 1 month trial of Metastock, real time, and then afterwards, if you want to move forward and keep Metastock, you'd have the ability to either lease it monthly or do a one-time purchase of it. Let's see here. Jim, it does not work on iOS. People with Macs, they'll actually use Parallels typically, kind of a dual boot situation where you have Windows installed as well. That's actually pretty easy to do. All of our Mac users have a program like Parallels where they can dual boot. I had a question about our support. As far as technical support is concerned, we have the best in the industry. If any of you have Metastock and have used our technical support, you'll know what I'm talking about. We have live support. It covers the entire world. So we have chat support, where you can go ahead and just chat in through our website, walk you through installing the product, using the product, etc. We support Steve's product as far as interpretation and teaching you how to utilize these patterns to the highest potential, teaching you what these patterns means. We'll leave that to the experts. We'll leave that to Steve. Steve, it looks like we might have a couple of questions for you. Scott, the cost if you already have Metastock would be $2.99, and like I said, you'll get the Candle Profit system, which is normally $3.99 as it is, and we'll also give you the pre-filter scans, and you'll have access to that bonus training session in a week or so. Yes, Karen, if you purchase the add-on, you'll be able to access Steve's, like I said, Steve's 20 patterns, his 4 explorations, bonus scan, etc. I believe this is being recorded, and it will be made available on the Candlestick Forum website. Yep, it'll be on the forum tomorrow. TZ, you've used Metastock for 20 years. Yeah, you must like it. David, it works great with futures. Works great with futures markets. Richard, the offer, as far as the expiration on it, the expiry will be I believe it will be Tuesday. So we want to be able to make sure we get that invite sent out and everything set up for the bonus session that we're doing. Yes, there is a lifetime license for both Metastock as well as Candle Profit System that you would be able to buy at a discount. Is there a monthly cost for the candle scanner system? No, there's not. So if you have Metastock, you pay the one-time $2.99 price, which again is a special price for attending this webinar. It's a one-time cost, and you have it for ever. So it looks like we're actually slowing down with the questions.
Yeah, I think we got most of them, Hunter. One of the things I want to add. Yep. One of the things I want to add as far as Hunter's commentary, everybody tells you that their software or their technical support is the best in the industry.